Thieves will steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get their hands on. To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, police and other agencies are using new tactics and technology where the bad guys get caught in the act.
Brilliant footage. Police officers love CCTV.
Local councils, shops and businesses are laying some traps of their own.
As soon as he walked into the picture, I knew who he was.
And the general public too can help unsuspecting crooks get their comeuppance.
We definitely needed proof.
You're not going to get away with it, you might as well pack up.
It made them swallow with pride, it was brilliant.
So, anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, a village shop assistant suffers a terrifying ordeal when she's threatened by a robber with an axe.
All the money in the bank now! Now! Get in the bank now!
But will the golden axe prove to be his downfall?
Bigger features, tarnished areas. I thought, I should be able to see this.
And a hidden camera in a granddad's room reveals a sinister secret. All is not as it should be. And everything in the garden's not lovely. These women aren't so much green-fingered as just plain light-fingered. The village of Brompton in North Yorkshire. This is the local newsagents. Inside, the CCTV cameras are rolling. It's just after 4 p.m. Moments ago, the shop was bustling with school kids buying sweets. Most customers have left when a man enters and waits ominously at the back. But he's no customer. He's carrying an axe. And what happens next is truly shocking. The armed robber demands money from the till. Suddenly, after a quiet afternoon, shop assistant Christine is now facing real danger.
When he was above me with the axe, I was terrified.
And she was like, he had a hood up, he had his face covered, and then she popped up and he had an axe, you know.
The attack even leaves the police in shock.
For this to happen in the village shop, somebody to come in, hold an axe above her head, it was awful.
The pretty village of Brompton in North Yorkshire. Opposite the church, the corner store is at the heart of the community. It seemed like an idyllic location when Jackie and her husband Manjit were looking for a more rural business for their family.
I was taking the children swimming one day, and me and Manjit had been looking for a shop for a couple of years. We just drove back this way, and straight away I said to him, I said, oh look, there's a nice shop, I said, in a little village.
And all the people seemed very friendly, it was like a community village, so we thought, yeah, this is an ideal location.
There's 90% of people who live in the village come in this shop. Really nice people. We've worked very hard to get it where it is. Obviously the customers as well supporting us, but Manjit's up at 4 o'clock, he comes to work.
Christine also loves coming to work. She's been serving behind the counter for over 3 years.
But I just do 12 hours a week usually. I get to meet a lot of different people and hear different things.
Today, Christine's manning the store on her own, while Manjit is banking the day's takings 16 miles away in Darlington.
I came to work for 4 o'clock and it was just all women and children and pushchairs and prams.
But as the rush hour ends, the CCTV camera outside the front of the shop captures a man in dark clothing approaching the store.
Yeah, it was about 4:25 when he came in. I did notice him, and I didn't want to think the worst, really. I just thought, oh, maybe he's been to the dentist because he had his storm flap up on his coat and his hood up.
Christine's busy at the till serving a woman and a young boy.
I served this lady, and it was sort of tip of my tongue to say, oh, do you think he's a bit strange at the back? But, you know, I didn't say it.
After they leave, the hooded man rushes forward.
And then there was nobody in, and he came to the counter, shoved this bag at me.
You can't pay all the money in the bank now! Now! Get in the bank now! Hurry up!
Fill it with the money, he said, I think. And I said, no.
But with a 6-foot man wielding an axe and shouting and swearing at her, Christine quickly changes her mind.
So I just let him have the money.
Hurry up! Hurry up! All the notes. All notes. In the bag.
I felt like a rabbit in the headlights of a car. I was sort of totally startled and stunned.
This isn't worth it. Now do. Come on. You dare follow.
The violent robber flees with just £250. Christine is in total shock.
I had a mini meltdown and I phoned Jackie first.
I couldn't believe it. It was Christine. I was like, hi, Christine. And she was like, somebody's just taken some money out the till. They've just robbed out the till. And I was like, who? Come on, Christine, you know, tell me a little bit more. And she was like, he had a hood up, he had his face covered. And then she popped up and he had an axe, you know. So then I knew. I was like, OK, right, stay there, lock the door.
Having locked the door to prevent the robber's return, Christine dials 999.
I phoned the police and they kept me on the phone till they turned up.
Meanwhile, Jackie phones Manjit, who's still at the bank.
I got a phone call from my wife saying we've been robbed. I said, what, we've been robbed? I couldn't believe it, especially in the village. I said, are you sure? She went, yeah, we've been robbed. I came out of the bank, went in my van and came back to the village.
The violent nature of the robbery described to the police in Christine's call triggers a high level of response. DC Donna Anderson is in charge of the case.
Lots of units were sent. There was CID was sent, there was armed response, there was local officers, there would be PCSOs. So the area was basically flooded with officers trying to catch anyone who was making their way from the shop.
Jackie rushes back to find the shop swarming with police. Her main concern is Christine.
There was a police officer outside the shop. It was quite scary, actually. I'm trying to look in to see if Christine's all right, you know, to see if somebody's given her a cup of tea.
Even with the scale of police activity, it begins to look like the robber had got away.
They didn't find anybody going up the road, they didn't find anybody in the vicinity of the sort of shop, but there was a lot of witnesses who came forward with loads of names of people. There was quite a lot of activity, but unfortunately that night there was nothing to link anybody really to this crime.
It shocked me, it scared me. I thought to myself straight away for the first 2 days, oh, Manjit, I don't want the shop no more, I don't want it.
Later, DC Anderson has a suspect, but she'll need specialist forensic help if she's going to put this dangerous criminal behind bars.
So the rucksack has a distinctive stain. So that's what I was looking for when I went back to the CCTV. What kind of a eureka kind of moment.
Also coming up, a granddad's been saving up to treat his family, but he's callously robbed by someone who's been paid to help him.
It wasn't about the money, it's about the trust.
But the family set a trap. Skelmersdale in Lancashire. It's 5 AM, and who's this tiptoeing down the road? Surely it's a bit early for a spot of gardening. But these two women have a plot in mind. It's a garden plot. Trouble is, it's not their garden. They're about to steal somebody's freshly laid lawn. While one of them rolls it up like a carpet, the other one shifts it down the road to an unknown destination. But a neighbour's CCTV camera captures these two coming and going over the course of the next hour. And when the footage of these two lawbreakers, or should that be lawn breakers, was posted on the internet, it sowed the seeds of their downfall. But this turf war was over when one of the women was picked up and identified by police. She was found guilty of theft and sentenced to 3 months in prison, though she refused to grass up her accomplice, who's still at large. So watch out for anyone digging up your garden at dawn. They may well answer to the name Lorna, or perhaps even Mo. There are almost 7 million hard-working carers in the UK today, but there's a small percentage who abuse their position of trust. Middlesbrough, Cleveland. It's a particularly mean and thoughtless crime to steal hard-saved cash from a pensioner.
We were talking with Dad one day about the next time we go out for a meal. We joked with him that, he would have enough money by now to take us all out together. And he looked a bit puzzled. He said, I don't think I can really. I don't think I've got enough money to do that.
Although he seemed happily settled in his new care home, in fact, things are far from settled. This young woman sees to that. Until Pat's family sets up a secret camera.
She walks towards the wardrobe and we can hear her on a louder volume, just whispering to herself, where have you hidden it? But then the camera switched off.
Pat and Joan were happily married for nearly 60 years, and after having a large family, were enjoying retirement.
Mum was the love of his life. They met when, I think Dad must have been 17 and Mum 15. Mum was just finishing school and Dad had started his apprenticeship as a painter and decorator. He hated it. But he was painting school railings where Mum was at school. And I guess they were never apart since. He loved his family. 9 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, they were the apples of his eye.
Having a large family appeared to keep Pat young, but he suffered for a long time with ill health. Fortunately, wife Joan was in charge of his strict medical regime. But everything changed when Joan passed away, leaving daughter Christine and daughter-in-law Susan to look after their dad.
It wasn't until Mum was gone that we actually realised how much she'd done for Dad.
It was a case of we understood Pat needed more care than we could actually give him. So we sat as a family. It was a very, very hard decision.
To get the attention he needed, the family helped Pat move into a care home and he adjusted well. But everything changes when Christine discovers by chance that there's something strange going on. Every week, Pat draws £30 out from his pension for his spending money.
He liked to give the grandchildren some pocket money. He liked to pay for his daily paper, and he liked to take the family out for a meal for special occasions, and that's what he saved his pocket money for, really.
Anything left over, he keeps in a safe in his wardrobe.
January time, and he wanted to take the family for a meal, because this was one of Pat's things he enjoyed doing.
We joked with him that, he would have enough money by now to take us all out together.
But he voiced a concern that there wasn't enough money.
So I asked him to have a look and let me see what was in his safe. And we thought there should be around about £200 by then. And when he showed me what was in his safe, there was only about £40 there.
And if there's money missing, the only possible explanation is that someone is taking it.
So we decided to sit down as a family and see what we could come up with. I mean, obviously we'd never done anything like this before.
And my brothers immediately wanted to put a camera in the room.
But Christine is unsure about this idea at first and decides to run it by the manager of the home.
She said, well, yeah, I need to find out what's going on. I need to be able to trust my staff. So we need to find out where this money's going. So I'll get a camera and put it in place.
After doing her research on the internet, Christine buys a spy camera in the shape of an alarm clock. She installs it in her dad's room on top of a chest of drawers.
Dad didn't like the clock, but he knew what it was doing, so he kind of put up with it.
Christine leaves the camera in motion sensor mode, which means it records when there's any movement in the room, but only for 2 minutes. She checks the footage every day.
It was about a week to 10 days before we actually caught anything that was suspicious. Everything else, all of the care was exemplary.
But the good care Pat is receiving is about to be spoilt. When late one evening, he leaves his room to see Christine's brother out after a visit.
Seconds after he'd left the room, this person was in there and rummaging, really.
Just off camera, the woman looks through his drawers.
I'd say roughly about 20-30 seconds she's looking for something.
She leaves. But a couple of hours later, she's back looking around again.
Again, looking through drawers and things.
Pat has a little basket on his table where he keeps all his knickknacks in. She goes into the basket and rummages into there.
The family suspects she is looking for the key to the safe, which Pat hides in different places. Today, it's in the wardrobe.
She walks towards the wardrobe and we can hear her on a louder volume just whispering to herself, where have you hidden it? But then the camera switched off.
The family now know that something's amiss.
I felt quite sick, really, realising that, yeah, this is happening and it is one of the carers. And she was one of Dad's favourites because she used to sing really loudly.
But before they can make any accusations about anyone, they need proof. Christine picks a day when she knows her dad will be out and the carer they suspect will be on shift.
Dad was actually coming to my house on the anniversary of Mum's death so that we could have a family meal together.
The night before, Christine photographs all the serial numbers of the money in her dad's safe. Then it's down to her brother and his wife Susan to complete the plan when they come to fetch their dad in the morning.
I placed the safe keys in his normal drawer and set the camera off.
This time, the camera is switched to record continuously everything that happens.
My sister-in-law brought Dad to my house. We had a nice afternoon, but then he was tired and wanted to go home.
When they get back to the home, Susan checks the drawer.
I noticed the keys had been moved. So I told my husband, I passed him the keys, he opened the safe, and we found £40 had gone missing.
After saying goodbye to Pat, they head back to Christine's with the camera footage.
And that's when we found that we'd kind of caught the girl red-handed.
The carer enters Pat's room and goes straight to the wardrobe. She can't find the key. She checks the pot on the table, then the drawer. She finds it. Back to the wardrobe to open the safe. She takes out a bundle of cash, steals £40 and puts the rest back. After replacing the key where she found it, she leaves.
We all felt physically sick, really. There it was, couldn't deny it. We phoned the manager, said we've got something to show you that you're going to be interested in, and we went up, showed it to the manager, and she immediately called the police.
Police officers arrive, and even though the carers told about the video evidence, she denies everything. She is arrested.
She said, well, I need to follow you to the police station. No, you're going in the van. And she jumped up and, you've got to be joking. Everybody in here will see me going into a police van.
Christine lets her dad know who's been stealing his money.
We've never seen Dad angry ever in our lives, but he got angry because he didn't know how to cope with the emotions that suddenly he was feeling. It wasn't about the money, it's about the trust.
In court, the carer is sentenced to 18 weeks in prison, suspended for 2 years. She's also given a 12-month supervision requirement and is ordered to pay £850 in costs. The family are pleased the care has been stopped.
She will now not be able to work in that environment again, and so in that instance it's put a stop to that happening again.
Sadly, 4 months later, Pat passed away, 2 days after celebrating his 80th birthday.
In his coffin he has Mum's ashes with him, with his arms around them. So they're together again, and that gives us some comfort.
The family were able to take some comfort from the footage recorded by the alarm clock camera. It showed that their dad had generally received excellent care during his last year.
There was literally just this one bad apple, and we don't want that to mar the home that Dad was in, because everybody else was lovely with Dad. We're going to have a lovely extravaganza of an evening to raise money for the Residents' Fund.
Yeah, there'll be a few tears, but there'll also be lots of laughter, because that's what Pat loved. He loved to laugh, he loved to smile, he loved just being witty.
Of course, most carers do a great job, and Pat's case is an exception rather than a rule. But how can we, our family and friends, avoid becoming victims of theft in our own homes?
In the first instance, play a bit of the detective, try and work out, well, when was the last time I saw it, who's been in the room, who has access to my room.
Make sure you've got your property easily identifiable. So if there was a chance that your money's being stolen, then that can be marked. Either use a forensic marking solution or an ultraviolet pen.
Keep a diary of the events that are ongoing. Usually, if people are suspicious that there's something happening, they're usually quite right and their instinct should be trusted.
If you use a cash box, then make sure the key is always on you. So there's no chance that the key can be found and then the key used to open the cash box.
Don't put your life savings on your mattress because somebody will come and take it.
You'd think that life running a village store in a rural hamlet would be peaceful and crime-free. Sadly, that's not always the case. Back in Brompton, North Yorkshire, everyone is horrified about the harrowing axe attack by a masked man at the village store.
Put money in the bag now! Now! Get in the bag now!
Everybody in the village was concerned. Obviously, he was still out and about, but they were really, really concerned about Christine.
Big shock. Difficult to describe because I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that before.
It isn't worth it. I'll do. Come on. You there, follow up.
The attack has affected the shop owners Jackie and Manjit too.
My 10-year-old little girl, she was upset, you know, and we're walking the landing on a night. Are they coming back for you, Mum? Are they coming for you? So it took a lot to calm my children down and sit them down and explain that it doesn't happen every day. It was just one of those things that had happened and, you know, we just have to try and rebuild and we just have to try and get over it.
With no obvious lines of inquiry, DC Donna Anderson decides once again to review the footage captured on the shop surveillance cameras.
It's a very small unit that didn't look very sophisticated, so we didn't expect very much. It is just a few seconds, but because of the amount of cameras in the shop and the way that the footage is gathered, we do get quite a lot of footage for him for the time that he was in the shop, which is what we needed. He's entering the shop and his way's blocked there by a lady who is shopping, and you'll see with her, probably her grandson. The suspect makes his way straight to the back of the shop. We get a good view of him. There the front of him, holding the bag. Get to see how tall he is by comparing him with the shelves. We've had every view of the suspect. We've had him from the side, the back, and now we're getting him from the front.
The footage is released to the public in a bid to get more information about the mystery man. One name crops up several times: 19-year-old Marcus Richardson. Donna finally has something to work with.
And when I did a bit more digging on him, I realised that he was actually living only about 200 metres from the shop. And with some of the other information I had, you know, on the police systems about him, it raised my suspicions, and I decided that I was going to arrest him.
With her #1 suspect in custody, Donna and her team search his house for evidence.
On going into his bedroom, I found there was a lot of clothing that possibly might match that of the offender. And then when we went downstairs and searched some of the cupboards, I found a rucksack, and then the family had a log burner and an axe, and the axe looked similar. I almost couldn't believe it. The axe was quite distinctive, it was gold. I thought we might have him here. And I couldn't wait to get back to the police station to interview him.
But the interview doesn't go as well as Donna hopes. Richardson denies everything.
The picture is quite clear. It's a very similar axe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure very many shops sell them. That's all I've got to say on that.
It's
in my house. Axe. It's in my house because we chop wood.
Okay.
For the fire. I'm not going to repeat myself, that's all I've got to say on the axe.
So it's not you then?
No, as I've said. And it's an axe, it's used to chop wood. If that's all you've got to go on, wow.
He's told me that he'd seen that type of axe in hardware stores locally, that they bang them out in their millions, and that I should go prove it. Following the interview, where we had no admissions, all I was left with really was the CCTV and the items that I'd taken from his house.
Without enough evidence to secure a conviction, it looks like the case is dead in the water. But Donna's not prepared to give up so easily.
After watching the video for hours and hours, there was nothing I could see that would link them. So I sought some advice and found out that a department were able to do analysis on CCTV with items and may be able to make a match for me.
The job of making that match is down to an expert imagery investigator, Jacqueline Pestel, who works for a specialist forensics company.
I've been doing this job now, this role, for 11 years. And I've been involved in over 1,000 cases now. I generally do about 50 cases a year.
Jacqueline needs to establish whether the man in the CCTV footage is the same man the police have questioned, Marcus Richardson.
He is partially covered. There's only very limited facial features that were available.
The results are inconclusive. Jacqueline will need to dig a little deeper, so she analyses the personal items seized from Richardson's home.
Now that coat, when we looked at the features on it, there were a number of differences. It wasn't the same coat. They also had a hat, and the hat did have a light tone logo on the front of the hat, but it wasn't particularly distinctive. There wasn't very much there to go on.
With the possibility of a conviction disappearing fast, it's down to the final two pieces of evidence, the axe and the rucksack.
Following comparisons of those, things started to look a little bit more promising.
Jacqueline replicates the lighting conditions and position of the objects as they feature on the CCTV. First, the rucksack.
So the rucksack has this distinctive stain. It's a large stain. It's running up the first part of the strap here. So that's what I was looking for when I went back to the CCTV. I wanted to see if I could find that. Now, outside, when the offender was walking towards the shop, there's a lot of motion blur and the quality's not that great. But there was one frame that I saw, and not only was it a dark tone there in the right place, it was also the right shape. So I was happy that that was the same rucksack. Got kind of a eureka kind of moment.
Finally, some good news, and there's more to come.
In this case, the axe had lots of wear and tear. Some of the smaller marks I wouldn't expect to see on the incident imagery because of the resolution, the quality. Bigger features, sort of tarnished areas, they were present on this axe, so I thought I should be able to see this. So that's what I then looked for and found them.
It's exactly the evidence Donna's been hoping for.
I was delighted when I got the report where various of the items were considered to either be a strong or a powerful match to those seized. Yeah, it was a brilliant day.
Although Marcus Richardson continued to deny the charge of robbery and possession of an offensive weapon, he did eventually change his plea to guilty in court. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. It's welcome news for those who work in the village shop.
First thing I did was phone Christine, told her how long he'd gone. Christine was very pleased over that. She's glad, because she was panicking in case he was going to come back in the shop again.
And Christine can now put that terrifying experience behind her.
If I hadn't come back, I would have been just at home and trying to find another job, and just thought, why should I let that idiot cause me to lose my job, sort of thing. He's having to pay the penalty for what he did.
That's it for today. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more criminals red-handed.
Investigating one holiday club's apparent money-back guarantee, but no one's seen their cash yet. Rip Off Britain next. Followed in 45 minutes by Bargain Hunt, and there's a gorgeous backdrop to the stalls as we head to Grimsthorpe Castle.